some calls should never be answered. This is the story of Michael Carter's last known days. Age 32, an ordinary software engineer working in the city. On Sunday, October 15, 2023, at 2:47 p.m., his phone rang. The caller was his college friend Derek. "Come quick, our old camping spot, remember? I found something, you need to see this." Michael would remember that moment forever. Or perhaps he would never remember it at all. This would be the last time he'd see the sun. Michael pulled his bike from the garage. Old, rusted, but reliable. There was a strange urgency in Derek's voice, almost fear. But he'd known Derek for years, always dramatic. The forest area north of the city, where they used to camp during college. The ride would take about 40 minutes. He pocketed his phone, grabbed his water bottle, and set off. Mrs. Henderson, his neighbor, was sitting on her balcony. "Where you headed, Michael?" she called out. "Meeting a friend," Michael replied. It was the last time she saw him. The trees seemed to be watching him. When the asphalt ended, Michael turned onto the dirt path. The forest was quiet as always, perhaps too quiet. No birds sang, no animal sounds, just the crunch of bicycle tires and his own breathing. His phone rang again. "Derek, where are you? Hurry, this thing, I think it's moving." Michael pedaled faster. "What's moving, Derek? What did you find?" But the line went dead. As the signal weakened, his heart began to race faster. Something was wrong. But he didn't know yet that it was already too late. Derek wasn't there, but something was. When Michael reached the old campsite, Derek was nowhere to be seen. The area had completely changed. The trees were thicker than before, the soil darker, the air colder. "Derek," he called out. His voice echoed through the forest, but no answer came. He leaned his bike against a tree and looked around. Then he saw it, a strange depression in the ground. He approached. A hole about 6 feet in diameter, appearing freshly formed. The edges were smooth, as if someone had dug it, but no one would dig here. Inside was completely dark. The ground vanished beneath his feet. Michael leaned over the edge of the hole. He was trying to measure its depth. He turned on his phone's flashlight and held it down. That's when it happened. The edge collapsed. Michael lost his balance. He fell. But the fall didn't last seconds. It seemed to last minutes. He tried to scream, but his voice caught in his throat. Everything around him was completely dark. He couldn't tell if it was dirt, air, or something else. Just an endless fall. And then, where he woke wasn't anywhere on Earth. Michael woke on a cold, damp floor. His head was pounding. When he opened his eyes, what he saw defied logic. Yellow walls stretching into seeming infinity, decaying carpets, fluorescent lights buzzing monotonously overhead. The smell was terrible. Mold, moisture, and something undefinable. He stood up. When he turned around, he saw only the same scene. Yellow walls, empty corridors, endless rooms. "Where am I?" he whispered. His voice was swallowed, as if the walls had absorbed it. His phone was in his pocket. He looked at the screen, no signal. Time, 00. Date, unknown. Every corridor was the same as the last, but it wasn't. Michael started walking. He had no other choice. Every room was the same, yet different. Sometimes the walls were slightly closer, sometimes farther apart. In some rooms, the ceiling was low, suffocating. In others, it was too high to see. He noticed footprints on the carpet, dirty, wet marks. He followed them. Maybe he could find a way out. But the prints suddenly ended in one room, as if that person, whoever they were, had simply vanished into thin air. Or something had taken them. He wasn't alone here. That's when Michael heard it. A sound. Distant but distinct. Like footsteps. But not quite footsteps. Something dragging across the carpet. He froze. The sound was coming from behind a corner. His instinct screamed at him to run, but his curiosity, or perhaps madness, made him approach. He peered around the corner. Nothing. Just more yellow walls, more empty rooms. But the sound continued. It was closer now. And then he realized it was coming from above. Something was in the ceiling. When he started running, it started chasing. Michael ran. He didn't know what he was running from, but every cell in his body told him to move. The sound behind him grew louder. Not just one sound now, multiple sounds. Scratching, breathing, things that shouldn't exist. He burst through door after door, room after room. But everything looked the same. He was running in circles, or was he? His lungs burned, his legs ached, but he couldn't stop. Because when he looked back, he saw something in the shadows. Something that moved wrong. Something that didn't belong in any world. 12 doors, but only one might save him. Michael stumbled into a circular room. 12 doors surrounded him, all identical. All slightly open. The sounds had stopped. Silence pressed against his ears like water pressure. He approached the first door and pushed it open. Another corridor, yellow walls. He tried the second, the same, the third, the same. He was trembling now. Which door was the right one, or were they all wrong? Behind him, he heard it again, that dragging sound, closer. He had to choose. He closed his eyes, picked door number 7, and ran through it. The rules changed when the walls turned gray. The yellow gave way to gray. Michael had entered a different area. The carpet was gone, replaced by cold concrete. Pipes ran along the ceiling, dripping unknown liquids. The fluorescent lights were fewer now, creating pockets of deep shadow. This place felt older, more malevolent. He could hear machinery in the distance, grinding, mechanical sounds that made his teeth ache. And water. Always water dripping. Drip, drip, drip. The sound echoed through the concrete halls like a heartbeat, like the place was alive. Someone had been here before, and they left a warning. Michael found the wall, covered in scratched messages, written in what looked like blood. Don't trust the lights. It hurts you. Been here 47 days, no food. Sarah, if you find this, I'm sorry. Level 3, death. And then freshly written, still wet. It's behind you. Michael spun around, nothing. Just shadows and pipes, but his heart pounded so hard he thought it would burst. Someone had been here, maybe many people. Where were they now? And what did the messages mean? He touched the wet writing. His finger came away red. It had no face, but he knew it was smiling. At the end of a long corridor, Michael saw it, a figure, tall, impossibly tall. It stood motionless, facing him. It had no distinct features, no face, no clothes, just a dark, humanoid shape that seemed to absorb light. Michael's breath caught. Every instinct told him to run, but his body wouldn't move. The figure didn't move either. They stood there, watching each other across the expanse of concrete. Then, slowly, the figure's head tilted. The motion was wrong. Too smooth, too deliberate. And Michael understood it had been waiting for him. It knew he would come here. You can't outrun something that's everywhere at once. Michael ran, but no matter which corridor he chose, the figure was there. At the end, waiting, watching. He turned left, it was there. He turned right, it was there. He ran backwards, forwards, through doors, under pipes. But the figure was always ahead of him, not chasing, not moving, just being there, waiting. His mind began to crack. This wasn't possible. None of this was possible. But possibility had lost meaning here. The backrooms had their own rules, and he was beginning to understand them, too late. Books filled with words that hurt to read. Michael burst through a door and found himself in a library. But it was wrong. The shelves stretched up into darkness. Books floated in midair, their pages turning by themselves. He grabbed one, opened it. The words inside made his eyes hurt. They weren't in any language he knew, yet he understood them. They spoke of the backrooms, of the levels, of the entities, of people who had wandered here for years, decades, centuries. Some of the books had names on them: Derek Chen, Sarah Martinez, James Wilson, and then he saw it. A book with his own name. Michael Carter. He dropped it. The book fell but didn't hit the ground. It just hung there, pages fluttering open to a chapter titled The End. Reality began to unravel at the seams. The world started to break. Michael watched as walls flickered between yellow, gray, and static. The floor beneath him felt unstable, like walking on water. Sounds became visual. He could see his heartbeat rippling through the air. Time moved wrong. He'd take a step and age a year, then go backwards. He saw himself walking past himself. Multiple versions, all terrified, all lost. One of him was screaming, one was laughing, one was just gone, transparent like a ghost. The backrooms were rejecting him, or accepting him. He couldn't tell anymore. His sense of self was dissolving. Was he Michael? Had he ever been Michael? Or was Michael just another room in this endless maze? 2 doors remained. One to madness, one to something worse. Michael stood between 2 doors. Behind him, the thing, or things, that had been following him were close. He could feel them. The door on his left glowed with warm light. He could hear sounds, traffic, people talking, birds singing. Home. It had to be home. The door on his right was darkness, pure, absolute darkness. But from it came a voice, Derek's voice. "Michael, I found the way out. It's through here." His hand hovered between the doors. The warm light was so inviting. But Derek, his friend, needed him. Or was it a trick? In the back rooms, everything was a trick. He had seconds to decide. Choose wrong, and he'd be lost forever. Choose right, and would it matter? He chose the darkness, and the darkness chose him back. Michael stepped through the dark door. The warmth behind him vanished instantly. The cold that enveloped him wasn't physical, it was deeper. It touched his soul. He fell again, but differently. He fell through memories. His childhood, his first kiss, his graduation, his mother's funeral. Every moment of his life played in reverse, and then forward, and then scrambled. He saw lives he'd never lived, worlds he'd never known. He was everyone and no one. The backrooms weren't just a place, they were a state of being, a dimension between dimensions, and he had crossed the final threshold. There was no Michael Carter anymore, just another echo in the endless rooms. Some places exist beyond understanding. What Michael found on the other side had no description. Shapes that were also sounds. Colors that tasted like memories. He existed and didn't exist simultaneously. He could see all the levels of the backrooms at once, hundreds, thousands, infinite. Level 0 with its yellow walls. Level 1 with its concrete halls. Level 2 with its pipes and machinery. And beyond, levels that defied naming. Level negative infinity. Level sideways. Level inside out. He saw all the others, the lost ones. Thousands of souls, wandering, searching, becoming. He saw Derek, but Derek had been here for much longer than seemed possible. Time doesn't work here. Derek's voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere. We've been here forever, Michael. we've always been here. The call still rings, waiting for the next one to answer. Michael Carter was reported missing on October 15, 2023. Search parties scoured the forest for weeks. They found his bike leaned against a tree. They found his phone, battery dead, near an old campsite. But they never found Michael, or Derek Chen, who had been reported missing 3 days before Michael. The hole Michael fell into? When investigators arrived, there was no hole, just undisturbed forest floor. Mrs. Henderson still reports hearing Michael's phone ring sometimes at night. Always at 2:47 a.m., the police investigated the phone records. The call that Michael received? It came from his own number. The campsite is closed now, but people still go missing near those woods. Always on Sundays. Always at 2:47 p.m. And if you go there, if you listen carefully, you can hear it, the buzzing of fluorescent lights coming from beneath the ground. Some say the backrooms are a myth, an internet legend. But those who've seen the missing posters, who've heard the stories, who've felt that strange pull toward dark places, they know better. The backrooms are real, and they're always waiting. Always.